Welcome to the Week 13 in review, BONESTORM. You're going to see my eyes going off to the wrong screen, people, because the screen I have over here to the left is the big one, and over here is the little one. I'll try to keep it right a little bit. Welcome, Mr. Heath. Here, I'm going to move this down just a little bit more, get a little more of my fat face in there. Perfect. Okie doke. So, Week 13, we saw some winners and losers. Losers are in the other bracket with you, Mr. Heath. The other losers have joined you, and the winners are in my bracket because Daddy had a good weekend. Let's get to the scores. Our first, what, sir? Yes?
Well, you must have won some money because it looks like you decorated your office there.
No.
I like it.
No, this is Gabby's room, funny boy. All right, moving on to the first one. This would be Young Ho Love My Chub, which is perfect. Against
Camp Krusty.
Exactly.
Camp Krusty almost pulls off the perfect no-win season. However, I got lucky twice. This was not one of those weeks. I told Todd, if you need to beat a team to get into playoffs, is there anybody else you'd rather face than me? Of course not. It worked out for him like I thought. He beats me 128 to a measly 119. I had a great day from Lamar Jackson and Landry, and even old man Adrian Peterson scored me 17.5. But it wasn't enough to take down his squad, which included a good score from Robinson, almost 23 points. The Seattle D showing for 18, and old Nick Chubb for 17.5.
Your screen is frozen. I don't know why that
Dynamite fill in there. Are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me or no?
Hello?
Can you hear me?
I
gotta move. Hold on, I gotta move. Okay, hold on. I gotta move this.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hold on, I'm moving. I gotta move the operation here.
Let's see.
Hold on a second. We're moving. Hold on. Can you hear me? Joseph.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, you can
hear
me, right?
me.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, so let's do this.
I can hear you.
Wait,
okay.
Are you messing with me? Can you hear me or not?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes,
okay,
I can hear you.
Easy. I didn't know. I just want to make sure. Okay, so
yeah.
Sorry for the time I fill in, but this just goes.
Are you still recording?
Yeah, I'm still recording. Can we go on?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay. Well,
yeah.
We'll talk about my technical difficulties later. Let's focus back on the actual excitement of the day and what you missed, because I'm guessing this is your lack of care for anything the NFL has to offer. You must have given him quite a stir because you had games on Monday and on Tuesday this last week, which put him in a pickle because I don't think he had anybody else going on those days. Well, I take it back. He had Dobbins going, who gave him 13. But beyond that, he didn't have anybody else going. Meanwhile, the Bills in San Francisco, who played on Monday night, you had also the Steelers guy, the Eric Ebron, and you had Lamar Jackson played on Tuesday. But I'm just saying that, oh, yeah, it's a good week to play. But he must have been really worried because Justin Herbert only scored 2 points. Projected for 25 gets 2. That is not a good day. Yes, he had a good day from Nick Chubb. Yes, he had a good day from Robinson. Terry McLaurin, even in that win over the Steelers, only gives him 3.4. So, again, he must have been a little bit worried going into it. Ebron gave you 13, so not bad from him. And like you said, Lamar Jackson had a great day, so did Landry. The rest of it, pretty forgettable for you. It came close. It was much closer than I think he would have been happy with. But, yes, he did pull out the win, so congrats to Todd. And I still think it didn't help because I think he got knocked out by his other two people. But we'll see that moving forward. But let's move on to your brother versus Mr. Clemens. Or should we say might have had COVID Clemens?
Okay. Might have. Okay, we had Springfield United. This was a close game. Oh, my goodness. But Johnny pulls it out with 178 to Clemens' very respectable, could have beat anybody else in the league just about with almost 165 points. Mm-hmm. Let's first talk about Kev's team. Aaron Rodgers shows up for 29.5, Montgomery 27, and Dalvin Cook almost 26. I mean, that's huge, but still not enough. Waller, it's like, who's going to show up and score 40 plus for Johnny each week. This
48,
week, it's some
almost
dude
50.
named
I know.
Waller.
It's insane.
Almost gets 50. Jones at 27, and Patrick Mahomes with a very average 23, which is what most of the other quarterbacks score on their big weeks.
Right.
Well done, Johnny.
Yeah, Johnny pulls this one out. Not that he needed it; he was already guaranteed he was going to the playoffs. But it was a nice win to cap off a season. Meanwhile, this was a game that Clemens needed to win. Well, he didn't need in the end to win because I ended up beating your sister. But that's a story that's coming up. But I'm sure he wasn't happy with the guy that I traded him, old Clyde Edwards-Helaire, getting him a 0. Who I don't know if he was scratched from the game or what happened. I didn't pay attention to that very much because I didn't have him. But he was not happy. I was definitely seeing Clemens get mad at that.
What are you doing trading with you know what he's going to pawn off on you, wounded horses.
Dare you? That was my #1 overall pick. He
pulls off the freeway right before the glue factory and shows up at your ranch trying to sell you these thoroughbreds.
Hey, he's had some good weeks. He's had some good weeks.
If you see a tan import car come down the driveway, run.
Funny. Anyway, congrats, Johnny. Sorry about that. Let's move on to the next one. This was the game for Dad. This was a game for me. That's right.
For you, right?
Yes.
We've got the Unpossibles, who did the impossible. Beat Gentlemen's Four Quarterlies and got his way into the limped in, as it's known. You had a decent day. Good job starting Jefferson this week. Should have started him last week. You wouldn't have even needed this close game. But
I know.
They finished up for 25, and your Miami defense 2 weeks in a row on the podium for top scorers on the Impossible squad. Terry couldn't get enough out of her team, although Ryan Tannehill thought he was playing this week for a title. Not so much. He got 34.5, followed by Gesicki at 23.8, and McKissick at 17.8. She had a shot with both of those guys.
For sure. For sure she did.
Able to get it done.
She also had a shot with Raheem Mostert, who was the game after the Steelers game. That McKissick dude was killing me. Antonio Gibson, Jason's workhorse, went out early with a toe injury, and so all of a sudden, all I hear every 5 seconds, another one. McKissick's got it. Another reception from McKissick. I'm like, will you stop throwing it to that guy every time you do it? You're killing me here. So Raheem Mostert starts the game, and all I see is him tearing off these quick runs at the start of the game. I'm like, oh no, here's how it's going to end. Mostert's going to cut me like every Monday night game does when it comes down to it. But thankfully, he wasn't as utilized as much as Jeff Wilson, the other running back, and she didn't get enough to get the job done. So I'm happy to escape there with a win and a berth into the playoffs while I knocked her out, which I didn't feel good about. But sorry, Terry, I had to do it if I was going to move on. Let's move on to Greg versus Joe, the brother on a game, and Greg was not happy at the end of this one.
Well, this is the game for the smack talk amongst the Leighton. Well, it won't be Thanksgiving dinner, but it'll be Christmas dinner table.
Right.
Joe will be able to brag with his 154 to take down his brother in the final week, and I think get the big money payout for winner of the division. Joe gets 154 points versus Greg's 136, thanks to Chelsea almost 30 points. Kirk Cousins, another guy that wants to hit 30 points, and Crowder, who got just over 20. Greg had decent production out of Allen. Look at that, 40.1. Stephon Diggs up big with 19, and Hopkins up with 19, but not enough.
Yeah, not enough. Joseph comes in with the big hammer with Travis Kelce and Kirk Cousins, both having big days for him. Like you said, Josh Allen, what a great gutty performance. And I know Greg was really hoping that he might be able to pull it out, but not going to be enough. Yeah, there's definitely some hurt feelings there, and somebody took home that. I don't know who's the winner in the standings. This one, I didn't commit this one to memory, but we will see soon when we get to the standings. Let's move on to my mom with another one that she absolutely needed to win to keep your wife off her back.
Yes, so Mama does get it done. She scores well against a team that got unlucky, but still performed well at the beginning of the season, was strong through the middle, and has suffered a bunch. Certainly the loss of Will Fuller doesn't help her at all. She was unable to take down the Braille Bombers, who improved to 5-8 and snuck in. Yeah, good production out of Jones Jr. and Hilton, both players scoring over 27, and Kyler Murray with 23.5, pretty much. Cat did get some okay numbers from Kamara and Wilson, but not great. Still in the teens for both those guys, and 15 for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, it was the week Mom needed everybody to come to the table and play, and they did. Even Ezekiel got over 12 points, so good for him that day. She absolutely needed all those points, and I mean, again, Kat certainly had an off day, but Mama needed all those points just to guarantee that win and push through to the playoffs. So let's move on to the last one, I think, of the day, and this might be the last one. Your poor wife going up against Jason, who again, she did a great job, but not enough.
Yeah, no, she did well. She got 137.5 points. New England's defense, huge for her at over 37 points. Davis gets 37.2, a tie, most production on her team. And then Watson gets her 20.5, nearly. Wasn't enough against Jason's monster 152, and quite possibly a league-leading 9-4 record to finish the season. He also had Adams get him 36, Thomas 21.5, and Carson at an even 20 to finish out his top three. But if that's his top three, my guess is he got decent production from quite a few members of his team.
Absolutely, and that's without Antonio Gibson, who had been his workhorse, doing so many good things, only finishing 1.4 with his status, I think, up in the air this week going into it. But he is so overloaded with superstars between Adams and Hill and Carson, just gobbling up points, not to mention Michael Thomas, who I think he traded for midway through the year. So he is set up for a huge run, in spite of Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback, who I know he dropped and he picked up somebody else because Tom Brady was out. So he was just using him for a week, hoping that he might get something out of it. Anyway, so congrats to Jason. Sorry about Dawn. That was a tough loss, but it was fun that it all came down to one weekend. So that made it interesting. Now let's get to the final standings, crown some winners, and congratulate some people. Yes, let's talk about it. Or do you want me to talk about it?
Can let's do it. Okay.
Okay.
No, I got it. I can see. Okay, we've got the Scorched Doubtfuls, who tied with you at 7. Wow, a three-way tie, 7-6.
Perfect.
It goes down to points, and fortunately for Kev, he ends up taking the division title at 7-6. Everybody else at 7-6. That is weird. Three-way tie for first. One guy is out. Sorry, Terry. Then we've got Ogdenville, Edie Honches alone at the top at 8-5, and then we had two teams tied for second place. And again, goes to points. Sorry, Todd, you are on the outside looking in. Both Layton brothers make it, but Joe claims the title for Ogdenville. Let's go to North Haverbrook, where alone at the top by 2 games, Jason, again, like I said, league-leading record of 9-4. He is joined in the playoffs by his daughter at 7-6. Neither teams were in any fear of missing playoffs, probably since week 2, where one of my last wins came from. Camp Krusty, a league-leading, if you flipped it upside down, 2-11. And finally, at least another piece can produce. We've got Johnny at 8-5, who I reminded again has 2 open spots on his team. Claims he doesn't need them, so he's going to leave it that way. He gets in the playoffs and wins the division, followed by the Braille Bombers at 5-8. How
losing
pitiful
record
is it when your record is 5-8 and you make playoffs? Something is desperately wrong here. Poor gentleman 4 Quarterlies wins 2 more games than Mama and doesn't make playoffs.
Nope.
That's terrible. Johnny wins the division, and like I said, Braille Bombers finish up that division for playoff berth. And there you go. Congratulations, Scorched Doubtful, Meaty Haunches, C3 Popo, and Springfield United for winning your divisions. And congratulations to you, Greg, Kat, and Mama for making playoffs with those big winners.
Yeah, it was a crazy finish, rush to the end for a finish. Oh, great. It says my internet is unstable again. I am literally right next to the damn router.
Okay.
You gotta love it. Good timing for all this. Anyhow, yes, congrats to those teams. It was crazy because literally every Heath except your brother was knocked out in one day. Finally, yeah. I mean, you've been knocked out already,
Yeah,
they took Terry. We took Terry out and Dawn at the same time. So that was
that's
a
only two. Shut it.
rough weekend for the Heath. They will lick their wounds and come back next year to play. Although it is going to be fun to see which one of you can claim the first pick or whatever pick that person wants in the consolation ladder. Let's move on
That'll be
to
me.
let's move. And Clemens, you got me by your record, dude. I almost had you, you stinker.
You
Let's
mean
move
by
on to
point?
the
By point,
I think it
not
goes by
record.
I think it goes by record. You're right that I think division record, which he was 4-1 in, and I was only 2 and
Yeah,
2.
yeah. His overall record, but you
Yeah.
guys were tied.
I understand. I understand. Let's look at the final projections. So where we started to where we end into the playoffs. Let's take a look at that, my
All
friend.
right. Well, it's again this trend has
I didn't
not
notice the
changed
first one. That's the
and
greatest ever.
will not change. Yeah. So ESPN, all of the experts that work on ESPN Fantasy and their projections for the year thought I had dominated on draft day. Apparently not. Apparently I split 11 spots to go from first to worst. Dawn,
Right
not much
behind
better.
you.
They really loved her at 2. She falls 10 spots to, or no, 9 spots, falling to 11th place. Springfield United, they liked him on draft day. They like him now.
Yeah.
He doesn't move too much. Gentlemen's 4 quarterlies also fell a whopping 5 spots since draft day. The Scorched Doubtfuls, man, talk about calling it on the day, just like my daughter's doctor who predicted she'd be born on the 25th. She was. He must have worked on this projection for the Scorched Doubtfuls. They
That's
said
great.
fifth. He is fifth.
That's
While
great.
Cooper improved 2 points. Well done. The Braille Bombers slipped 3, and the rest of these teams all climbed from draft day, which is nuts. Greg up 2. Meaty Haunches up, what is that, 6.
6.
We got C3 Popo, who they were really wrong about. Jason, you should write a letter. They thought you were second from the bottom. You are now first, my friend. The Unpossibles, they thought you did shitty on draft day. They still don't think you've done that well, but somehow, some way, you managed to find your way in. And Todd, they really, really feel bad about Todd, yet they weren't wrong enough to give him any karma by getting him into playoffs. Sorry,
and
Todd.
this is a tough one because as much as I love this sliding scale and these things that look like that, I do think it's interesting, but I think there should be another thing added to it, another data point added, which is the number of moves people made. Because think about it, I don't know how many moves you made trade-wise or even pickup-wise, but it was very few. Meanwhile, a lot of us made a lot of moves to keep scrambling and try to fight and claw for every win. So I think that kind of has to go into it too. This isn't as straight of, yeah, this just goes from how you drafted to how you ended up. But
Yeah,
we'll save that for,
that's
yeah.
supposed to show.
Yeah, I understand.
Moves could either be good management or sheer panic, which let's see what your pickups were this week. We're going to go to this first.
Let's go to the winner's bracket first and see the
so-
matchups. We'll go into each one of these, but I just wanted to take a look at it and how it's going to roll out. So someone from those first two will be playing each other in the second week. Who will it be? We don't know yet, but the games have already started, and we're going to rely on, because I have slides that are a day before this because I thought we were supposed to film yesterday. And we both missed it. We both messed up. I didn't reach out to Kev, nor he to me, so we missed it until it was too late to do it. But we will see where it goes from here. So any comments on the 4 matchups that you have in front of you before we get into it?
No, but I have updates on their scores. So let's just go to
okay.
the
And then the consolation ladder, it's Terry versus Dawn and you versus Chubb. So we'll see where that goes. Let's go to the first matchup. This would be me versus your brother.
Okay. How does this work? Okay, never mind.
Okay.
Okay, you versus my brother. Let's go to that live. The Unpossibles, you are out of the gate well with Akers at 23.4. Well done. At least that's a good start. Springfield doesn't have anybody going yet. The projections right now, they have you winning 158.5.
Oh, shoot. I can't
Did you hear any of that?
I heard everything right to the end. You said the projections have me winning.
Okay,
And
go
went,
ahead.
Blah. Okay,
The projections have you winning by 10 points,
Yeah,
158 to 148. Yeah.
I don't buy that crap. We'll see how it goes. I got to face again the number. What is it? If Jason's number one, it was Johnny number two overall. I don't know, but Johnny's bringing the wood with all of his big boys. Mahomes, Jones, Lockett, Waller. My God, Waller! I need another 50-point day. And my beloved Steelers against Buffalo. God, that's going to be a tough one to root for my Steelers. Just don't hurt. Just score a bunch and still beat Buffalo somehow. Pull out another win there. We'll see how my guys do. I was very happy with obviously Cam Akers. That was a nice pickup that I made and didn't play him last week, but put him in this week and was rewarded last night. But who knows where it's going to go? It's always nice to get off to a good start, but you don't know where it's going to go from here. Let's move on to the next matchup. Oh, this is my mom going. This is number 10 going up against number 1. Or number 10 versus number 1 overall.
Okay, so let me go find that one. Okay, we've got the Braille Bombers. Again, the guy that continues to smile on the Dickies. She is already out of the gate with the Rams defense giving her 28. That is certainly a great start.
Yep, that was a big game.
But according to the projections, no need for Jason to hit the panic button just yet. They still have him projected to win by 10 points as well, 158 to 147. I guess that'd be 11 points.
Yes, and I do see how Jason picked up. I do see how Jason picked up Antonio Brown. Oh, what's Antonio Brown going to do in our playoffs records? He's had some history before with me. How will he fare with? He didn't like you very much. We'll see how he likes Jason's team. Maybe he'll perform better for him. He really didn't like you at all.
Maybe
in fact, you drove him out of football completely. Let's move on to the scorched doubtfuls.
Camp Rossfield dude. Yeah.
Yeah, you turn people out. The Wild Poopers versus the Scorched
Old Man
Doubtfuls.
of the Sea, Clemens.
Exactly. Old Man of the I Beat COVID or
Wild
something
Poopers,
like
that. You know, she could certainly use the talents of Will Fuller. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. She is out of the gate with some production out of Cooper Kupp, who got her 14.3, but projections like Clemens and the role he's been on. So right now it says Clemens 159, Cat 136. But
it's going to be
any Sunday.
It's going to be very interesting to watch that resurgent Miami defense go up against Kansas City, who cannot be stopped, at least as of yet, except by only one team. We'll see how they do against that. Detroit getting Aaron Rodgers and company. Boy, that could be no. Edwards-Helaire is Clemens' guy, is what I'm saying. And no, I didn't start Miami's defense. No, I dropped them and picked up the Chiefs defense against Miami.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Savvy move. You watch. We'll see if that works out. And also, I'm sure Miami's going to shut out KC now going into it, now that you've said that, to curse me.
Well, for the last 2 weeks, they were some of your best performances.
Yeah, they were.
The Miami
they were.
Defense.
But they're going up against old Mahomes and the rest of that squad. So we will see where they go. Yeah, we'll see if Clemens can keep up his big score going against Cat, and if Cat rights herself.
The one reason why it's stupid, maybe in some people's definition, gutsy, I'll give it to you, but to make these huge changes week 1 in playoffs, I hope it works out for you, my friend.
Hey, the Cam Akers one I made, and that worked out so far, so we'll see how the rest of them do. You got to be willing to lay it on the line. Let's get to the last one. This one is Greg versus Joe. Round 2, ding, ding. This one counts for playoffs.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. Last week was for money, and this for division money. This week it's to stay on for the big payday.
Yes.
Love Hugs and Ice Cream still projected to win, not by much though. Joe is out of the gate, but with a rather pedestrian 8 points for Woods.
Yeah, that's
so
low
not
for him.
Great,
he scored a lot more.
Too close. Yeah, too close to call right now.
Yeah, I mean, if Robert Woods is averaging 17 and he gets 8 out of the gate, not a great start. But again, anything can happen. We'll see how these guys go. It is crazy how every year since Greg and Joe have come to the league, they have always met in the playoffs, and it hasn't ended well for Greg. We'll see if he can undo that curse, reverse the curse, as it were, if he was a Boston fan, and see if he can beat down Joseph, or if Joseph remains supreme and knocks him out one more time of the playoffs. We will see. Oh, great. Says my interconnection is unstable. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, you're getting really slow. Yeah, I can, but
Awesome.
it's like
I'm getting slower. This is great. I love
yeah,
my internet. It's really worth it. Anyway, that's, I think, the last game. I'm going to stop sharing here if I can. Hey, there we go. I've moved rooms,
there
so
we
we're
go.
back to a different room once again. And who's coming in here? Oh, it's just Kat. What are you looking for? Hearing aids? I don't know if they're in here.
I would.
Oh, go ahead. Are you just freezing? Just to,
I would like
stop.
to give us. No, I can hear. I can hear you,
Okay.
and I can see you. You know, being distracted. The Lord knows what this time. I would like to, at the end, give us a big fat stinking F for our season this year with these videos. Even though we've brought some advanced technology to it, like virtual backgrounds, and we've been fairly religious about trying to get a video done every week. We need something better. We need to raise our game.
We do. I think I think my technical problems that we've had on my end for the most part. I mean, there was only really one week where you had one that was so bad that you froze, and it was probably on my end that it did it, but it was pretty funny that it literally froze you with your hands in front of your face, and that was a good one to go out on. But yes, we need to fix this connection so that when we do film, it works. I don't know. Again, it normally works throughout the day for all the other stuff. I don't know why this is causing so many problems, but maybe we'll change
we can
venues.
Just plug it in. Why don't you just plug it in?
I'd have to walk over to the router and go find that and actually plug it into that. But you know what?
You walk in every other room in the house.
Okay.
What's the difference?
Fair point. You know what I'm going to try though? Maybe we'll test this out next week. So I put, again, this is you think these things are supposed to be fixed, are supposed to fix things. So I got this router extension thing, right? I think it's from either Google or, so I mean, I bought it on Amazon. It was like $20, right? So I put that in Gabby's room that was supposed to be able to extend the range of my Netgear router that, you know, is in the other room, right? So it seems to work, but it's not exactly 100%. I'm literally like 2 feet from it. But what I'm going to do is what you said. I'm going to get an Ethernet cable. I'm going to plug it into my computer. I'm going to plug it. I think there's a thing on the actual plug-in that I can go under and plug that into. And if I can, I'm going to do that and see if that maybe fixes it next week. We'll give that a test and see if that can help. Otherwise, I'm back to the drawing board, and who the heck knows what I'll do. Maybe I'll just get like a 100-foot cord and string it all the way out there and just be running around with that. I'm sure Dave will grab onto that and yank it right out. All of a sudden, the TV's down. It'll be like you in that Star Wars video. Kev, the tree fell again. Speaking of which, you were supposed to bring that out, and you're not coming out. Can you at least send me a copy of it? We've been waiting to see that forever. Gabby's coming home, and you're like, I'm not doing it until I'm coming out. Well, you're not coming out, pal. COVID wrecked that, so send us a copy.
I was supposed to come out.
I was supposed make a copy and send one.
Another thing COVID destroyed.
We'll do a Zoom to where we'll bring you in and sit you down in the room, and you can watch it with us. What?
Did you hear me?
No.
Is it going to be as flawless as these videos?
It might. It might be worse. So just get ready for that, jerky. All right. So any final thoughts for week 1 of the playoffs? Do you have any thoughts? You've frozen again. We need to end this madness. I'm going to wait till you can say anything. Wait, say something now. Keep talking. You're frozen, but I can hear you.
I hate you all.
Okay, perfect. For Kevin Heath, this is Matt Dickey saying, take us home, Kev.
Stay connected, BONESTORM.
Hey, that actually recorded. Okay, we're calling it a day.